My name is Diana Justo, and this is going to be my Unit 7 Keynote project. So this is going to be an introduction to my interest in fashion and selling clothes. I'm super passionate about creating sustainable, accessible, and affordable fashion. I think clothing is something that should be accessible and affordable for everyone. So that's always first and foremost what I'm thinking of when I'm going to sell clothing. So for as long as I can remember, I've always been interested in fashion. As a little girl, it was my dream to be a fashion designer. So I've always been interested in unique pieces and collecting as much weird clothing as I possibly can. And back in 2019, I started to go thrifting, which was something that always kind of freaked me out. I didn't really understand it. And one of my good friends told me that she thought I would really like it. So I went, and I did, of course. It took me a few times, but once I kind of got in the groove of it, I started to really enjoy it. And about 3 years ago, I want to say, is when I decided to start selling my excess clothes that either didn't fit me anymore or just kind of felt like they weren't my style anymore. And so far, I've sold 16 items, and obviously I plan on selling more in the future. And as I curate my own personal collection now, I kind of choose which older items I would just rather sell and which ones I would rather donate. And yeah. So like I said in the previous slide, I've been doing this since about 2019. It started off a little slow. I only had 2 items to sell, so one of them sold immediately. I actually still have the other one that I originally listed up on my website. But since then, I've uploaded a bunch more items, and it's kind of really helped in getting my name out on the platform better. I'm a communications major, and my extensive experience in customer service has definitely been helpful in a lot of situations. Sometimes there are just discrepancies with small things like shipping problems. I actually just had a girl today that had an issue with her address. She messaged me right away after purchasing one of my items and mentioned, that she had put the incorrect address. She had moved and she didn't update it. So she asked if there was something that could be done, and I gave her a refund, told her I would relist the item for sale, and once she updated her address that she could just purchase it again, that I would put it on a hold so that no one else would purchase it and she could purchase it. So it helps to kind of think quickly on your feet in those kind of situations, and luckily one of my other friends is actually a Depop seller as well, so she was able to help me come up with a plan because that had never happened to me before. So these images here are some of my most popular items that I've received the most attention on. This dress to the left is actually the one that I was just talking about, the girl with the shipping problem. I got 158 likes on that, which I thought was pretty good. The most I'd gotten before was about 70. As you can see on to the right, these jeans here, I found these, I want to say about a year ago. And I thought they were some of the coolest pants I've ever seen. I loved the details, but they just were way too small for me, so I decided to sell them. And yeah, so I also received 3 other offers on that dress on the left. Over 10 people had the item in their bag. And these are just my most popular and kind of most unique finds, I would say. So my interest in doing this kind of sprouts a lot from, like I said in the beginning, my childhood and growing up. A lot of the TV shows that I watched they were known for kind of an eclectic form of style. I've always loved any kind of crazy, kooky, weird style. So my interest kind of stems from that. As well as my favorite artists, pop culture references, through magazines. I'd always flip through magazines as a kid, whether they be fashion magazines or just regular, like a People magazine, and always would admire the beautiful clothing that the actresses or models had on. I also was a big fan of Pinterest growing up as well. And if you've ever used Pinterest, they have a lot of different aesthetic boards on there. much of them include clothing and different accessories and things to build unique outfits with. So that's definitely where I draw some of my inspiration from for sure. And then here I have just a little screenshot of some of the positive reviews that I've gotten. And when I began selling on Depop, I didn't realize it's kind of like a game where you have to post a larger quantity of items in order to receive traction and likes in order to cultivate more sales. So that's why back in the beginning, when I just had those 2 items posted, I wasn't really seeing much traction. It took a while for me to get any attention on my page. So once I started to kind of collect more items to post, and I posted them more frequently in groups, I found that it got me a lot more traction. So I also make it a point to have a very specific palette in posting each item. So I keep the same background. I try to keep things as consistent as possible in order to keep people's gaze, in order to keep my page looking like clean and organized. And I've seen a lot of success in these methods, so I try my best to just stay true to them and kind of learn as I go as well. And so the more likes that you can generate, the more potential you have for sales. It's really all about capturing an audience and offering a pleasurable sales experience. So, yeah, and then that is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much.